Raycaster from scratch. This isn't like all my other Raycasters that only have like one line that just keeps on going until the end of the screen. This one's gonna be better, like way better. The problem is, since it's more advanced than the issue of this is, well, you see, you basically just can't, like, you can't add textures or custom textures that will loop like that stuff. You can't add this, like, not with my method. But don't worry, my method is very good. You can come up with some very awesome things, like height mapping. Anyway, create a new sprite. Player. You can make this whatever shape you want, but you can make it a 21 by 21 purple square with a black outline. And I'll do a 1 green flag clicked. Now do a go to. And I'm gonna make mine 0, 0. You can do yours different if you like. Now do set rotation style, don't rotate. And I'll do a point and direction. I'll do 90. You see, no matter how hard we try to rotate it, it won't rotate, which is just perfect. That's exactly what we need. Because otherwise, the player will have strange hitboxes later. Because otherwise, the player might glitch later on. Now do an if. 4 ifs you're going to need. Oh, make sure to put a key pressed in the first one. Because then you're not going to have to keep on duplicating the key pressed. Because I accidentally made that mistake. And oh man, it's so annoying to have to change that all up. So, tap up arrow. Let's do move 2 steps. But no, wait, we're not going to need this. Because later we're going to need collision. Let's make a new block. Move, and now make an input 2. Now I know it says a silly name, but trust me, it'll help you. Now let's do it. Move 2 steps. Don't with the 2 like block. Now replace this. You see, this doesn't affect our game very much, but later we'll have high impacts on the game. In fact, in a good way actually. Because this way we're gonna need less code. So this is actually good. Now just use a turn. This is nicer than my last game because, like, some of my other Raycasters actually have a turn blocker, which is annoying. Now you see, we can walk around the level. There's still no level, so this is kind of boring. Let's create a new sprite level. Now paint this to look like whatever you want. I'm gonna paint mine to look like this. Yeah, some of this. And this. Oh my, that looks nice. And this. This. And this. And don't forget this. Now go into this code and do 1 green flag click. Go to 0, 0. And you may think, oh look, I guess now our problem is fixed, but no, it's not. Because still we can pass through the levels. It's as if it's some kind of backdrop that goes in front of all the sprites, which is very unusual. It's as if this player is the backdrop or something. And this is just part of the player costume. It's as if that's what's going on. That would just be crazy. So, anyway, you ever wondered what goes on in the backdrop? Because this is going to be a really fun thing to test out. Go inside the drag the direction block into a backdrop, and turns out the backdrop is actually a sprite. Now let's try to move steps block. And the backdrop can't move. You can easily see. Because obviously it's not this. Okay, so it's sort of a sprite in some ways, but it's not always a sprite. Because, like, anyway, that was a fun thing to test out. Right? So inside this move block, you remember that I said that this would help us out later? Well, that's why we need this if block. Because we need to do if touching level Now do a move block. Now do a minus block and leave the first side empty. Then drag the 2 input into here. Now let's try this out. And yes, we have perfect player collision. This is already super fun, even though it's not even 3D yet. This is already a whole lot of fun, even though it's not even 3D. Wow. I can't believe this is actually made. Like, this can actually be made with Scratch. Oh man, it still shocks me how completely simple the Scratch engine is. Anyway, let's create another new sprite. I'll call this Ray. This will calculate the object. Make sure to paint it like I'm making mine 25 by 25. But make sure that whenever you paint your sprite, then make sure it's a square. Okay? Because basically that's what's needed. Anyway, we do a one green flag click script. Now we're not gonna immediately fill this up. To create a new sprite, call it blocks. Call it calculate. I always get sprites and blocks confused with each other. Oh man, it's so hard to remember. First, do a go to block. Go to player. You do a point and direction block. And now go into the player sprite. Create a new variable. Or you know what? I'm just gonna reuse the my variable. Set my variable to direction. So point and direction, my variable. Now let's test this. Ow. And yes, the player is precisely showing its direction perfectly. Now back inside of point and direction, you see we're still not even close to being done. No, not even close. Then you just need to repeat until touching level. And now do a move. Then you can do, and now you just type in the resolution in your sprite, but just make sure it's a little smaller so it will be a little bit less buggy. Now do a repeat until not touching level. We're doing this, it might slightly slow down our Raycaster. So just to prevent that from happening, then create a new sprite and call it level inside. And basically just make a smaller version of your level sprite. Basically, just like this. This is the level inside. And if the Raycaster is touching this level inside, then it will move fast. It will go back faster. A lot faster. Now just delete the black part of it. Oh wait, never mind, I'm not done painting mine. How silly. Anyway, now you can delete the black part. My gosh, this has a real nice effect. I like it. There we go. Our level. Okay. This is like a level skeleton or something. Repeat until not touching level. Now we'll just do an if-else block. And then do if touching level inside. And then move -1. Else move -0.1. Now I know this isn't going to help us much, but trust me, it's pretty helpful. Now create a new variable, distance. Now do a change distance by 1. And remove 7 steps. Now replace that 1 with a 3. Now it's probably going to work, but it's still not doing anything. And we're still not even using the green flag script. So now use a broadcast. Broadcast message 1. Now go back into the Ray sprite. So when I receive message 1, calc. Now, oh my gosh, I made the biggest mistake ever. I accidentally forgot to set the distance. Anyway, now the distance will be set. As you can easily see, the distance is set. This is actually really useful because now I can easily calculate the player. So now, what should I do? Because it's still not working properly. Because we're going to need to calculate everything. Then create a new block, RY. Make it run when it's screen refresh 2. Now I'll do a repeat block. And make sure that it's set to 120. Because we're going to need it. Now do a turn block. And make sure it's 60 degrees. Now point in direction, my variable. We're going to duplicate into here. And then delete here. Then we're going to need to do a turn 1 degrees. Or you can change this 1 to whatever value you want. But I'm just going to leave it as a 1. Anyway, let's try this out. And oh my, this is super laggy. This is pretty laggy. Because we need to replace this with 60 and do this as a 2. And then to replace this 60 with a 30. Now things are running just slightly faster. But we need to do a set rotation style, don't rotate. Just so that we need to do it. Set rotation style, don't rotate. Just like with the player. And oh my gosh, this is actually pretty nice. But why is this so laggy? Because don't ask me. I'm just, they don't know what's going on. And then replace this 2 with a 1. Let's try it out. Still pretty buggy, but it's good. If you're on turbo mode, that just makes it worse. So don't use turbo mode, okay? Just don't. Please, I'm begging you, just don't do it. Is because we're moving 7 steps, right? Well, that's not enough for our Raycaster. To make sure that your sprite is big, minus 25 by 25. So I can do a move 25 steps. Now, why is this still not working? Well, see, we don't need this repeat until not touching level. Now we need to replace this move. Now you see, our game is running a whole lot faster. So like an entire new generation of speed. Now replace the turn 1 degrees with a turn 2 degrees. And oh my, this is actually working really good. Except for the fact of this. So replace this for 1 again. Now that it's back to usual, then now after it's calculate, then now we need to create a new list. Oh, dist. Now do an add distance to dist. Now if you want, you can replace the 7 with an 8. Now do a delete all of dist. And now our list is filling up with distances from the player to the nearest wall. And man, this is so cool. I'm so glad how this works. Like, this is super cool. I wasn't actually originally planning for it to be in a level inside sprite, but I decided, well, why not add it? It would be fun. It would be a fun addition to our Raycaster anyway. I'm going to create a new sprite, call it render. This will render the game. Make sure to paint this one as a square also. And don't make it a big one. Make it a small one. Like 17 by, like maybe 8 by 8. That would work. As long as there's no outline. Or 6 by 6, I guess. That's even better. Now do when I receive. And now do an M2. That will be a new broadcast message. Then do a go to block, but this time do the XY negative 240. That's the far left. And then the Y negative 180. And now let's test this out. Oh my gosh, I can't even see this because it's so small, but I just know this works because I made several drafts of this video actually. So yeah. Okay, let's go back to it. Now we'll just do a repeat. Make sure that this is 60. And now do a change x at the end. And make sure the x is 120. Okay, you have to do some math. 120 multiplied by 2. 240. Yep, I knew that. Divided by 60. Let's see. Okay, so change x by 4. The x needs to be 4. Now install the pen extension. Because we're actually going to be using the pen extension like this. Now set pen size to 10. Make sure that it's 10. Now create a new variable, idx, for this sprite only. Set idx to 1 at the very start right here. Now make sure that there's a pen up block here. And now do a pen down. But wait, we need to do a pen up first. Now do a go to block. And now do another, and now make another variable, height. Make it also for this sprite only. And now do a set height 2. Now create another variable, x pause. Make it also for this sprite only. X. And now do a divided by block. And now let's make this 4,500 divided by, and now do an item. And now drag in the brand new idx variable. No, you can only put in this value, like this. I think this one's better. 4,120. And now now do the y height. Now the pen up. Now the pen goes here. The pen up block. It goes way down here. Then we put the pen down block here. Now do change y by. And now make an empty minus block with both inputs empty. Now make sure to set the second one into a height block and then leave the first one empty because the rest, they aren't going to be very useful. Now do a change x pause by 4. I'll do a set x pause negative 240. And now just like that. And now do another change block. Change idx by 1. Now first change y by, then do a pen up. Now let's test ours out. But oh, the M2 message has never actually been executed. And oh wow, is this seriously what the player sees? Now let's change this to just a regular 4,000. And oh my gosh, let's replace this 4 with a 5. Now let's test this out again. Because this really looks weird. Oh man, still not working. Let's replace it with a 6 then. Hopefully this one works. And oh man, still doesn't work. 7. How about that? And oh my gosh, it's literally still not working. Now let's try this out. Yes, it works. It takes up the whole screen. Oh my gosh. Oh man. I accidentally did this incorrectly. So, do an erase all block right before this. Now drag everything in this M2 block into a run without screen refresh. It's called render. After you do this run without screen refresh, drag it in here, then just do this. It's literally super easy. Now we need to make sure we broadcast this event. Inside of the right after then when I receive message 1, then we'll do RY. Now broadcast M2. Now let's test this out. And oh my gosh, the Raycaster is working perfectly except for the bad movement. So you see what I mean? We're always slightly different direction. So let's go back into Raspberry. And oh man, my mistake. We actually don't have the bad movement glitch. Now I hope you're happy with this Raycaster because it took me a long time to play on this. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, if you want to do this, like, do you want to like do 0.7? And actually, if you like, then if you do this, you can actually smoothen out the edges of the walls, which you're probably gonna enjoy. This one you have to do a plus and make it 0.7. Drag out the subtract. And now do this one minus 0.7. And you see how the edges have kind of smoothed out. It has a really small impact on our game, but it's kind of difficult to notice, sadly. Just there. Now let's see what happens if you set the pen size to 9. Still the exact same. Still no spaces and all. Now don't make this pen size too small. Anyway, now let's create another. Now, if you want to add color maps to the game, this is just what you need. Color. So create a new list called color. Now after this, then right here, we need another block from the pen extension. Do the set pen brightness block. Set pen brightness block 2. And now do item IDX of color. Now since the color list is empty, then don't worry, because inside array, all we have to do is just, so since it will calculate this, we need to do an add distance divided by, or at least the 4,000 value divided by distance. And let's test this out. And oh my, our game is not exactly working it's not working properly at all. Because oh my gosh, we accidentally messed this up. We need to do a delete all of color. Now let's test this out. Oh no my, this is not working how I expected. And oh my, now it's working just right. Just the way I wanted. Instead of a change, instead of a set, then let's do a change. Then this way you can set a pen value, then won't really change it much. And let's test this out. And oh man, what's going on? Because oh man, I accidentally did the color. So change pen brightness by item IDX of color. Now let's see what's going on. Need to set pen brightness. Because for now, we'll just do a set block. Because we mean, why not? It's the only one that works. Wow, this is actually working really good. Now keep in mind, the larger this number is, then like the brighter your level is. I'm gonna set this to 5,000. Or like, yep, this is 5,000. You see how much brighter my level is? The only problem is, you see how in a Raycaster, it always moves, and it sometimes does this. Annoying, right? Just drag and move one step to the very beginning of the script to fix this error. I know, it's a huge Raycasting issue that's very annoying. Now let's test this out. It still exists. Now why is this? Oh man, don't ask me. I have no idea. I'll do. Still not working. How about 10? I see why. Because it's automatically touching the level. Need to move 50 steps. How about that? Hopefully this kind works. And oh man, it still doesn't work. I guess this is I guess this is basically the bug. But the bug just exists because the player object is too small. So set size to 200. This should fix the bug. Yep, it's fixed. Okay, the bug can no longer occur. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this Raycaster. And make sure to watch part 2. Because you'll love it. Definitely. You're definitely gonna love this. The only problem is you want your player to have a hitbox. Don't worry. Just do a set size to 100. And then do a set size to 200. Now the player hitbox is just normal. See? So the player still has its usual hitbox. Except that there's one bug that we just fixed. And oh, I guess this breaks it. I guess you have to decide between like level size, and you have to decide between level size or bugs. I have to decide between level size and bugs, or like, you know what I mean. Anyway, to hide the level overlay, let's just do a set pen. I mean, not set pen. I meant set effect. Set goes effect to 100 inside a level sprite. Now duplicate that into the player object. Now that it's in the player, drag into the one green flag. Quick scripts. Now first drag into the array, then drag into the level color, and then drag it into the render. Now since every one of them have this, then it will all work perfectly. Now do this one quick. And now there, just a clean old Raycaster. Now look, I didn't get any help from anybody making this Raycaster. I coded it. You know that? I made this Raycaster. Like, no other methods. This one was 100% by me. Me. Yeah, me. I coded this Raycaster. And you know the repeat block inside array? This is actually the field of view. And now, well, now if you want to experiment with this, then follow along with this. Create a new variable, field of view. Make it into a slider. Now make the minimum 10 and the maximum 120. Now let's test this out. Anyway, now we have our own slider on screen. Now do a repeat FOV. Now do a set FOV field of view at 60 instead of the default. As a default. Now it's working perfectly. Now after we do this, then it won't render properly if we don't set this. So we need to do a repeat field of view instead of 60. So we need to replace every 60 with the field of view variable. There. Now we have to do field of view divided by 2. Because otherwise this turn 30 degrees isn't going to be much use. Anyway, let's test this out. And oh my gosh, this is actually working pretty good. The thing is this. At lower numbers, then for some reason, then it just bugs out. And oh my gosh, I know this is so annoying. So we're not gonna need the field. So we're not gonna be needing the field of view variable to be shown. Anyway, this is the Raycaster, and I hope you enjoy it because I worked hard on it. And make sure to look out for it. And part 2 is soon gonna be released. So I hope you're as excited as me for part 2. And I guess that's it for now. Bye.